Hey there, folks. I'm Eric Osberg, the Rural Rebound Initiative Coordinator for Otter Tail County, and we're back with another Better Together segment. And joining me today is Klara Beck. Um, how are you doing today, Klara?
I'm great. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Good.
How the reason that we wanted to have you on today is you're involved with the food shelf in Fergus Falls. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Yes.
And the food shelf is still open. People, I know as this whole thing has kind of come upon us, the most vulnerable, right, are the most vulnerable, and so the food shelf is still open. If somebody needs to use the food shelf, what are the new hours, or what are the hours, or how do they go about accessing those resources?
Yeah, great question. So we decided to keep the hours the same as they have always been at the food shelf. So we have staff available there Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 1 to 4 p.m. They have set it up so that there's limited contact with people who are visiting the food shelf and the people who are staffing the food shelf. So it used to be that you'd go into the food shelf, you'd get a list of items, you could do your shopping that way. Now we've got a preset list of items that people are getting. So, and it's actually quite a bit of food. They get 2 boxes of non-perishable food items, and then 2 grocery bags with perishable items like milk or eggs or whatever we've got available from Service Food Market. They're the ones who help us source a lot of our food. So people can drive their cars up to the front of the food shelf, um, get out of their cars, grab their food, put it into their vehicles, and leave without ever having to go into the building or interact with another person. We've got people outside who can help. So if somebody is unable to get it out of their vehicle or they're unable to lift, we have people who can help with that. But we are practicing social distancing and making sure that people are safe and healthy as they come and they get their food.
And I also hear that there's some really good news about the community support. Can you talk a little bit about financially what has happened in regards to the food shelf recently?
Yeah, it's been just nothing short of amazing. The city took over operations of the food shelf on March 18th. There were rumblings going around that the food shelf wasn't going to be able to stay open because they've got an older volunteer pool, and we just couldn't let that happen. We couldn't let it close. We knew that there were vulnerable people who needed that resource. So the city stepped in. We don't have a budget for a food shelf, so that's where the community came into play in a big way. Federated Church stepped up right away and offered to be the fiscal host for the food shelf. And in the last, gosh, I think we've had them set up and ready to go for maybe the last like 2 weeks. We've already raised well over $20,000, which is just amazing. It costs about $10,000 a month to keep the food shelf operational and open, and make sure that we have enough food on the shelves for people to be able to be getting what they need. So watching the community come together and provide that financial support has just been great. We're also receiving donations of canned items, things like that, non-perishables that people will come and drop off. And then we got a list of, I think it's over 100 people now who have offered to be volunteers at the food shelf. So we've got a huge list of people that we can pull from. We haven't had an issue with not having enough people to work at the food shelf, which has just been great. And it's just been really heartening to watch the community come together and say, we know this resource is important and we want to make sure that we can keep it open. Here's what we're going to do. And they've come forward with food. They've come forward with money. They've come forward with time. It's great.
That is great. That's a good, better together story. So if I'm seeing this video and I want to help, do you have some? What are some ways that I can? I mean, I know it's good, this is good news now, but you're going to need help for a long time. So, what are some ways that I can help or get involved, or what can I do?
Yeah, so we are still accepting monetary donations through Federated Church. You can drop off checks. I'll pick them up and I'll get them dropped off. You can drop them off in we have 2 drop boxes for the city. There's one right on the front of next to the right of the front door of City Hall that you can just drop a check in there, put it in an envelope, write Federated Church food shelf on it so I know where it's going. You can also donate online. Federated Church has a donation button right on their website. I also have it linked on the city website. So if you go onto the city homepage, click on the COVID-19 updates page and scroll down a ways, there's the link for donating there. There's also a sign up form to be added to our volunteer list. So you can sign up and subscribe to that to be getting updates about where volunteers are most needed. We've been really lucky to have a lot of people sign up for that list, but we're always looking for more people. So that's a way to do it. If you have food, non-perishable items that you do want to drop off, we are still accepting those donations as well. You can drop off donations directly at the food shelf. There's usually staff there at about 12:30 the days that it's open. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can drop something off, preferably before it's opening, but really at any point we'll accept it.
All right. Well, again, thanks for what you're doing to help the food shelf, and anything else that you want people to know about anything that's happening in Fergus Falls or with the food shelf in particular before we go.
I think I just want to say that the city is really proud of the people in this community and of the people of Fergus Falls for coming together and making sure that everybody is happy and healthy and able to eat in kind of an uncertain time. And it's just been really wonderful to watch that unfold. And I know things are scary, but we're all still taking care of each other, which is great.
That is great. Well, thanks again for taking time to chat, and thanks for showing us that we can be better together, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, you too.